Wow. 2019 was so exhausting.
You've been running the entire year.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run.
Oh, we're almost there to the end, to the parties of 2020, or the roaring 20s.
When is this episode coming out? Is this like New Year's?
I don't know. What's a reflection?
Probably New Year's right now.
Yeah. Well, it's probably. We don't
Happy
even...
New Year's!
This year, the church has been very busy. The prophet has been very busy. And therefore the church has been busy.
Yes.
And you may have had a hard time keeping up with all the changes, as have I, apparently, because we were going through a list of all these new, like the policy changes and some announcements that were made, and I was like, wait, I didn't even remember that one.
Yeah.
So today we're going to kind of catch you up on all the things that happened in 2019, or most of them.
Just a review.
Yeah, just kind of like, because maybe you missed one, and if you've, in the comments, let us know if you're like, wait, I didn't even hear that. I want a video on that, and then that will give us some good material to work from. But yeah, so as far as this year, for example, one of the changes was that the temple recommend questions were revised, just like a few wordings different here and there. The witness policy change was way cool. My wife and I got to be witnesses together. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so the witness policy change happened, and then the young women's and women's, the young men's and women's changes. There was a lot.
Why'd you say
women's? I can't talk.
Women's. When you start thinking about words too hard when you say them.
Woman. They
come out weird.
But yeah, there's the changes in the structure. So young men's is gone, right? Or is it the other way around?
There's no longer young men's presidency in wards.
Right.
It's just the
bishop, which
you
can take it as you will. It's just I don't know. There's probably good spiritual reasons for it, but
I think it's a good call to emphasize the youth more.
But it's definitely this,
very thinking
and emphasize this isn't nothing doctrinal changes. The church's doctrine never changes. These are just the prophets most likely through revelation, but also through a lot of thought and logical thinking. This could help it run better. This could help us focus better.
Yeah.
The young women's class structure naming was changed.
This is fun because we had Maya Maids and Laurels and what's the other one?
Beehives.
They haven't always been by that name either. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but Tyson or whoever's editing this video, please go through and find the old names because they're pretty funny and put them all on screen.
They're very subjective names.
I've always wondered. I
was why Beehive?
I'm sure they have a reason. I mean, Beehive is I don't know, Deseret.
Right, but why is that the smallest one? Why isn't the top one? Why is why are the oldest and the young? Who is this?
I would have loved to have been in that meeting.
Yeah, the weirdest one for me is My Maids. I don't even know what that word
Maya. What is Maya?
But it's not even Maya. It's Mia.
Mia.
It's Mia Maids.
Sounds like a drink.
Mia Maid, new lemonade, but from the Mayan.
Miami.
Hey. So.
Anyways, that changed.
That was interesting. Once again, I haven't felt very passionate about any of the changes. I was just okay, cool, let's do it. But,
young women's theme changed.
Right, as it does.
And the young men got a theme. They didn't have a theme before, right?
Yeah. Feels special. I mean, we're not young men anymore. The word mutual and auxiliary are gone, which I'm glad about because mutual was a very weird, when you told your friend, I'm going to mutual.
What does that mean?
What? Yeah, my friends who weren't members were like, what? And you just learned to say, I'm going to a church activity.
Yeah.
Then the Bicentennial Conference is next year, so...
Yeah, I'm on pins and needles.
Yeah, we had that quote from Elder Nelson. Was it Nelson? Yeah, President Nelson who said?
Who said what?
That
Oh, that it's going to be unforgettable or whatever.
Uh-huh.
General Conference next April will not only be memorable, it will be unforgettable.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know what it's going to be. My speculation is maybe it's going to take place in Nauvoo or something. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a second coming.
Second coming.
It's just straight up the Savior's coming at the Bicentennial.
What if it's in Adam-on-Diamond and they're like, for this session, we will not be broadcasting. Sorry, if you're not here, you miss out. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that would freak me out.
We need to do a video on Adam on Dion.
I love Adam on
If you're not familiar with our faith, probably don't know what we're referring to.
Another thing that changed, this is more specifically for the U.S., that like a civil marriage,
you don't have to wait a year
to go to the temple. You can get married civilly, and you don't have to wait a year to get sealed in the temple.
Right.
Which was very interesting because it's just an interesting policy. So I'm glad it changed.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yep. Definitely.
Then the new youth initiative that they announced a couple months ago, and that's going to be cool for the kids to like develop their talents and faith. And then finally, we had the missionary handbook update, which was probably it's definitely a focus on letting missionaries be a little bit more autonomous.
Yeah.
Less like blow your nose twice a day, but not thrice. On Sundays, thrice. Like it was just a little specific. So those are that's kind of like an overview of a lot of the policy changes. Let us know if there's anything we missed.
Not comprehensive.
Right. But there's definitely some things that were a little more impactful that happened this year. Like Come Follow Me, for example. That,
How are you guys doing with that? Seriously, let us know in the comments.
My genuine question is there anyone out there who does it every week? Because if you are out there, you are my hero. Just straight up, God is blessing you. That's something I firmly believe. If you are doing it every week, you are receiving so many blessings and revelations. Because I've been struggling. I've not been doing the best job.
Well, I think one of the things is I feel like the church went about it in a really great way, where they just said, look, here's a manual. You don't have to use it. You can do your own thing. Do whatever works for you. But at the same time, we're a very, manual-oriented people.
Well,
and
there's
really
a reason
hard.
That's all you talk about at church is the lessons and what the subject
this
of that
is the
week.
lesson in the manual, and here's what we're going to... So it's really hard to, not feel obligated to, open up the manual and go through it,
Yeah.
So I've been really bad at opening up the manual and doing that. I've tried, and my wife and I have been decently consistent
in the
yeah. I think that we just need to find a way that works better for us.
I think what I've found most impactful is the family home evening suggestions, the lessons with your family. That's because I think I'm so used, my brain's so trained to do a take things as checklists, so you open up the manual and it's I have to read this section and this section and this section, but the manual gives you an opportunity to grow where you feel you need to, or the Spirit guides you. And so every other month, we've taken it out for an FHE, and we've pulled it open that week and found a topic, and we're this is actually something we want to talk about. And we'd read those scriptures and read the prompts. And my favorite part of the manual, which I think applies any day of the year, if you just need to think about the gospel more and want to challenge your testimony, and not challenge it in a negative way, but push it to grow, just read the questions. Because that's if you think you know, that's I was very humbled, because if you think you know everything about the gospel and everything there is, read these questions, and if you can't answer them off at the top of your head, then that's a point where you can improve. And because there were some that there's a question I was oh, I know the answer to that easy, and I didn't have to dig that deep. But there were some questions where I was I don't know why Paul did that, and why the Savior would ask him to, and then I was able to dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah. I think another thing that's been challenging is, again, kind of going back to our manual-oriented and schedule-oriented brains or culture, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that we have 2-hour church. This has been the first year of the 2-hour church experiment.
It's so wonderful.
And I love it. But at the same time, I feel like people feel that because there's 1 hour less of church, they need to do Come Follow Me for an hour at home.
I see.
And I totally understand where that's coming from. I don't know if that was the intent.
I think I agree. I think if you just do it for an hour, after church, you might as well have an hour of church and be at church.
Okay.
I think the point of it is to extend it 5 minutes here and there throughout the day, every day. Take that hour of church and stretch it out throughout the week, and like make your home, your family, life.
So kind of in other words, it's not really even about, the time. It's about what is most effective.
Well, yeah, this is that idea of home-focused, home-centered gospel learning.
Yeah.
And learning does not happen an hour every Sunday. If you've ever tried to memorize something, like my wife is man, I'm struggling. My wife has to memorize some poems for one of her classes. It doesn't happen in one day. Like, she just reads it over and over in one day for an hour, and then she's got it memorized. Because in 4 days, if you ask her what it is, she will have forgotten a lot of lines.
Yeah.
It's a little bit here and there every day.
It's almost like we need to view it as like an exercise regimen. Like,
once again, that brings up the list,
but in the sense of like, here are the principles. Now, go do them.
Yeah, like a diet and an exercise, like this is, if you want to have this body type, shape, whatever, these are the things that will help you get there.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot.
So I'm trying to think of like maybe like doing "Come Follow Me" is less about being in a manual and more about exercising the principles of the gospel that you think are needed in your family.
I want that on a poster.
Hey, that's what we're supposed to be. Like, I feel like I just described the gospel. Like, that's what it's all about.
And definitely the emphasis. I think that kind of sums up this year.
Yeah.
Like, all these changes in the policy, everything that the prophet has been focusing on this year has felt very much this, like, let's take a step back from what we feel like we should be doing, the guilt that we, like we're guilt tripping ourselves over all of the little steps that we're not taking to be perfect. Let's take a step back and let's just, like, focus on what the gospel really is, which is just trying a little harder to be a little better.
I thought it was really interesting. I'm the Sunday school president in my ward, and I was reading in the handbook about the responsibilities of counselors in your presidency. And I thought it was really cool at the beginning of, where you learn about the responsibilities of a counselor. In the manual, it says, look, don't forget that your family comes first.
That's awesome.
I thought it was cool.
I love that.
Like, don't let your calling interfere with your family.
Right.
Don't get those priorities mixed up. And I feel like that's kind of the direction the church is going. Like, don't let church or these procedures or regimens get in the way of
what's
your
most
family.
important.
Yeah.
Well, because I forget who says it, but like nothing can compensate for failure in the home.
Right.
Because I said that in the last episode about like it's talking about monies, but like no, specifically like spiritually, emotionally, the family is just the joy. That's the happiness. Mm-hmm. You will not find joy anywhere else.
Right.
And usually what happens is when there's failure in the home, you seek numbness. Alcohol, drugs, cheating, whatever. You seek something to distract yourself from that failure. That's something I've noticed. I'm not saying that's always true, but like failure in the home almost always leads to some of the greatest sins and vices because the reason the gospel brings us so much happiness is because it helps our families be healthy and together.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that like we really aren't going into depth in this episode because there's just so many little things that happen or big things that happen this year. Yeah. But if you want to like let us know how they've affected you in the comments and then very specifically if you want questions, like you have questions, then we can like maybe focus on those in other videos. I guess one last thing that like is kind of started near the end of the year that we're looking forward to next year are the Book of Mormon videos that have been coming out. Because like I know that the Bible videos changed the way the gospel is taught. And I know when they came out, every lesson from then on had at least one or two of those videos because they were so well done.
Okay, I want to try something. I want you to think of your general feelings about the Book of Mormon videos, and I want you to translate them in your head into a sound. Okay, like a noise. And then on the count of 3, I want us both to say, express our feelings about the Book of Mormon videos in the sound, okay? Okay. You got it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Zach, will you count us down?
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
I was shocked by actually how similar those
That's
were.
actually funny. It was just a variation of the letter.
So okay, now in real words, what do you think?
Cheese.
Yeah.
That's just honestly we watched the first episode, Taylor and I, and she was like, we didn't even make it through. She was like, oh, can we do something else? And they just no offense to all the work that went into these videos, and there's good nuggets.
Yeah.
But I think there's so little we know about the culture of the Nephites. And how they actually were, how they actually lived.
Right.
Like, there's just so little. All we have is the dialogue.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of the times when we try to recreate these situations and these, like, moments, it just comes off as cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, the Bible...
And that's, like, the tradition of Latter-day Saint media a lot of the time.
Dude, the 90s.
Oh, the 90s,
The
man.
90s.
You want it? Give me the ball.
Family. Isn't it about time?
Never has a church made so much media in a short period of time, and never has there been so much cheese in
Everything
that
is
media.
just like glowing. You're just like, oh my god.
Dude, in the music, that like electric piano glockenspiel, just that like doo-doo-doo-doo, like haunted my memories for my child, because my mom was just like, Sunday we're gonna watch these videos, and we're just like, no. I think the reason the Bible videos were so beautiful is because we do have the information.
Yeah, I really liked those.
We know how they lived, what they did, what they ate, what they looked like. We just know so much. Mm-hmm. And then to take direct quotes from the scriptures mixed with very clever fictional dialogue, you know, like very well placed. I think the Bible videos.
Fictional dialogue in the Bible videos?
Yeah.
I thought it was all.
Just like
scripture.
there's moments of commentary and conversation that aren't exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's nothing. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and even just the portrayal of the actors, you know, like to create this like very believable.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Videos,
It was
yeah.
very believable.
Like I feel like that's actually how they lived, how they would have talked, how Jesus would have interacted.
Right.
These Book of Mormon videos.
See, it hurts because you don't want to say that like they don't come across as like believable. Like
No.
Bless their hearts. Bless their freaking hearts. Thank you for putting in effort to that.
They're making
the first. Okay, I'm going to be very specific. The costumes, and I'm sorry for if the costume maker is watching this. They look like somebody just sewed them together and they threw them. They don't look worn. They don't look authentic.
Have you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
The movie or the cartoon?
The cartoon.
Yes.
So you see, they have very colorful clothing.
Yes.
But in the cartoon, it feels very like it fits in this world, right?
Uh-huh.
And if you've seen anyone cosplay and try to like recreate one of their costumes, it just looks like they're wearing like plain color felt. It just looks like a kid made the costume. Even the best costumes I've seen for Avatar: The Last Airbender, they always look just like, I just cut this out and sewed it together, and it's just it just doesn't look like somebody really would wear that.
A good example, though, from the church is the new Light the World video. I thought they knocked it out of the park with the Nativity Light the World video.
That was beautiful.
Costumes looked authentic. I thought the people looked
The fact that it was
pretty
all
authentic.
in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Like,
super awesome. My other thing, and my brother was in that, by the way. Shout out to my brother. He's in it for like half a second as one of the shepherds. He looks at the lighter.
No way!
Like that. Yeah. But also, I think the actors look a little too American in the Book of Mormon videos. Just a little bit. I know they tried really hard, so props to them. And like, there aren't that many like Jewish
we needed
people
machete,
available in Salt
you know,
Lake,
like from Spy Kids.
Machete?
Yeah.
Uncle Machete?
Yeah.
Why would he?
You know, with like before
because he looks like
kind of like Native American like vibes there.
Yeah.
And he would have fit. I don't know.
See, I'm mainly thinking of like the Lehigh, like the first couple of episodes where they're still in.
They're just reusing actors.
The actors are, some of them are pretty familiar.
No, but okay, I kind of
Lehigh has played Joseph Smith's father before.
That's exactly.
Sure.
That's hard for me. Like with Jesus playing Joseph Smith instead of the news videos.
Yeah.
Like it's just difficult to process because they, long story short, it's like taking an R-rated movie and trying to make it G.
Interesting.
Because the Book of Mormon is R-rated.
Yeah.
It just is. It's so violent.
Yeah.
And so dark. Because the enemy, Satan's people are so evil, and they're making it G. Like, brother, you're the worst, and dang it, Lehigh, you're annoying. Like it's just.
It's a little cheesy.
Yeah, we can probably be done though.
I'm sorry to criticize, those videos, but
so yeah,
just our opinions though. Maybe you love them,
and maybe they'll get better. Maybe it's like they go on because there's still a lot of really cool stories that probably haven't been portrayed in videos ever. So let us know what you think. I guess
we're just ranting now.
This is just an opinion on. Like a film critic, but for like church videos, that'll be terrible.
But overall, like 95% of the changes, and those Book of Mormon videos are like the little
2019 was bomb.
Was the bomb.
I'm trying.
It did not bomb.
Dude, no, yeah, it was the bomb. The memes we got, there are some golden. Dude, finishing off the year with Baby Yoda, like. And recognizing that he is not Yoda, he's just the same species, but we don't have any reference, so we call him Baby Yoda. I just need to clarify that in case anyone's like, "You're an idiot. He's not,"
Right.
I know we know Star Wars. We're not stupid. But like, it's just been a great year.
Yeah.
So hope you guys also had a good year, and if you didn't, next year will be better. I promise.
Go 2020. Woohoo! Such a whole number. Makes me feel good.
What's it called when you can't drink? What was that called?
When you can't drink?
Like apartheid? No, abolition. No, abstention.
Not abstinence.
Prohibition. Okay.
What that have to do with anything?
I was just saying it's the 20s, and it's like, maybe we'll get prohibition.
The roaring 20s?
The roaring 20s. That's why they were roaring, because because of prohibition, it was exciting to do something as little as drink alcohol.
I mean,
and so
we've already got prohibition.
That's what I'm saying. What if the whole world had prohibition? So if you guys can handle it.